Hi, my name is Erin Brooke, and I am filming a video for Philip DeFranco and his channel since he is doing a pandemic prompt thing that is all about people who suffered from the pandemic or had an experience from the pandemic. So I'm gonna make my story. Um, I'm 16. When the pandemic hit, I was like 13, 14, and I was in middle school. So, fun fact, in December of 2019, before we got the announcement that COVID actually happened, my whole family got sick. And we can't say for certain because all of the doctors at that time said that they were just respiratory problems. But we think that we all have COVID. Not have. I don't have it anymore. I got the jab. Um, but we all might have had COVID at that time in 2019, December of 2019. Because at that time, my mom's boyfriend, his name, he got COVID, and he got it really, really bad. He was bedridden. Um, he went, I don't know, he went like out of state or something for a little while to go visit his family, and then he came back and got sick. We didn't think anything of it. We literally thought we trusted the doctors who said that they were respiratory problems, so we were like, it's fine. We took care of him, everything was fine. But then I got it. I couldn't go to school for like 2 days. So of course my mom was like, oh, they have it. She kind of expected herself to have it, and she did. It wasn't as bad as my mom's boyfriend though. His was awful. Mine was bad. I like I said, I couldn't go to school for 2 days. I was basically bedridden. I only this is gonna sound so awful. I did go out while I was sick to the store. I went to Walmart to go get some medicine with my mom. And yeah, I might have spread it a bit. But that was the only place that I went to, and then I stayed home and didn't go anywhere after that. But yeah. And then my mom caught it, and she had to go to my grandmother's real quick because my grandmother was like having some problems with something, and so my mom was like, okay, well, I'll be right over, So then my grandmother gets sick, and then unfortunately my grandfather gets sick as well, and we all basically caught it like one after another. So that whole month of December, like every single week, somebody was sick. But after that, everything was normal. Things were looking up for me. In fact, 8th grade was like, I had a really great year that year. But then March happened, and this is when we're getting ready for the end of the year stuff. So like finals are coming up, STAR testing was coming up. There was pictures, like summer photos for the yearbook, and we were also getting ready for a field trip that was coming up right after spring break. And I remember them announcing spring break, and everyone was all excited. Everyone went home. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday passed for me. And Friday I had a friend over, and her name was Angelina. Shout out to Angelina. Woo! But my friend Angelina came over, and we were, funny enough, we were watching Gordon Ramsay, And I remember her looking at her Instagram, and she followed our middle school that we went to at the time. Well, she opened it up, and she saw that it said that next week we weren't going to be going back to school. There was like a pandemic that was happening, and they were going to close up the school for another week. So like no staff was coming in, students weren't coming in, like you were not allowed on the school's property. So of course she shows it to me. So she's like she's like, AJ, look at this, go look at this. And of course, I take the phone from her and I read it and I realize, oh, pandemic. Oh my god. So, my mom, literally right after she showed me that, my mom sent me a message saying, well, it was a link, basically to an article about what's happening right now. And so I was like, oh shit, this is real. This is a thing that's happening. The pandemic, I didn't even know what it meant at the time, honestly. I didn't know what pandemic meant. I was like, it's not an epidemic, that's for sure. So I was really scared. I was really nervous. And unfortunately, we had to send Angelina back home. And we came home, and of course, my mom, she at that time was struggling with money. She was stretching out her food. We didn't have as many meals, we didn't have a lot of food. Then of course, when the pandemic hit, we kind of had to figure it out even more for all of summer and basically all year, because it was all of summer, all of fall, and all of winter, and I remember us like being so like having such a hard time finding food that we would go to my grandmother's and we would ask for like little things like a jar of pickles or a a loaf of bread, the regular size loaves. And basically we would just go over there, we would have like a meal, like a snack or something, and then we'd go back home. But those were like the only two places that we went. We didn't go anywhere else, luckily. But it was really hard for us. I know during the summer that okay, remember when I said that I was kind of feeling a lot better in 8th grade? My health was getting good, it was nice. Well, summer, it didn't happen. That same summer I was so depressed, I made a suicide note. And I was ready to go. My room was constantly in the dark. You basically couldn't see me. I was usually under the covers in my bed crying. There was this one song that I distinctly remember listening to 24/7 because it just represented me in all the wrong ways. And it was really hard because at that time I lost contact with all my friends. Like, I didn't want to talk to them. Like, what was the point of talking to them when I couldn't see them? That was my whole thing, because I loved meeting my friends. I loved seeing people. So I was just like, what's the point? That there is no point. So it was bad for me. I would stay up past 4 in the morning, and I'd wake up at 12 maybe. I I was just in a really awful spot, you know. I was constantly on the floor. I remember that distinctly, being on the floor constantly and like crying my eyes out, just on the floor laying down, because I felt like if I wanted to get out of bed, I'd just move to the floor. But that was my summer, almost the entire summer. And then I remember my birthday hit October 17th. And my mom got me this bag that she found at this store called Melrose. And she told me, she was like, I was able to pick it up before the pandemic happened. It was originally going to be for me, but I don't need it as much as you. And I still have that bag. In fact, I still use it. Uh, because that bag was like my favorite bag. I still love it. Um, Let me see if I can find it. Okay. I couldn't find it. Um, Also, it's like 2:30 in the morning over here, so I kind of had to be quiet trying to find it, but I couldn't find it. But it's small. It's like that big, and it's like a mini backpack, and it's pink and like a, well, it's like a dusty pink, and like a brownish, you know. Um, but I loved it. I mean, I still love it. And I told her, I was like, thank you so much. And uh, that was that was my birthday gift. That was my birthday party. I remember we did have some cupcake mix, so I made some cupcakes, and that was nice. But it was really small, nothing too big or anything like that. Christmas came, and we went to my grandmother's, and we had very little presents, but we made do with what we could get, because we didn't want to go out, and it was unsafe. We were nervous, but that first year, it really sucked. Um, Second prompt is, what's the most important lesson you've learned from the pandemic? Don't This is more for me rather than like a general thing like live your dreams or whatever. Um don't keep secrets from your mom. Uh I remember during the summer, my worst summer, um I was on the floor, and my mom walked in and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I had my back behind the door, so I told her, I was like, "Oh, nothing. I was trying to find something under my bed, like trying to play it off." Well, that same day, I got into an argument with her, and it got so bad that I bursted, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't live with myself knowing what I am. My hair was so knotted because I wouldn't brush it for days and days and days. Um, I wouldn't shower either. Like, it was full of grease. Like, you touch my hair, and it was awful. Um, but I told her, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't live. I just want to go outside, you know. And the apartment that we had, we didn't have a backyard, we didn't even have a balcony. So the the house apartment, that's all we had. So we couldn't go outside, you know. We went out to our front porch and immediately we were met with a main road. So it was hard. We couldn't really go out. The only thing that we could do is like open up our blinds, but that was just something I didn't want to do, you know. My blinds were broken. I know my mom's, she always kept them open and up so that way she could see the birds. But I just burst out crying, and she listened the entire time, but that that day I just wish, instead of bursting out yelling at her, telling her I don't want to live anymore, that I reached out for help sooner and told her what was happening. And then the last prompt is, who will you become because of the pandemic? Well, I think because of the pandemic, I was able to get a full diagnostic reading of some of my disabilities, I guess. I was diagnosed sometime last year. I was diagnosed with moderate depression and moderate anxiety. We also might think I have a mild case of OCD, but that has not been checked out yet. But I'm hoping that because now I know what I went through from the past with summer and everything like that, that I hope that in the future I can learn, first of all, like I said, I can tell my mom, you know, if I need help, which honestly I already have been doing, and it's been great, but you know, keep my friends in contact and be someone before it's too late. You know, that's what I want to do. I want to be someone before it's too late. And the pandemic really opened my eyes to that, because I felt like I was no one during the pandemic. And I felt like that if I was gone in the summer and for the rest of my life, no one would care. No one would go to my funeral, and no one would watch my body. So I'm glad that I'm here now, and I was able to walk out of there feeling like a human again. You know, I'm only 16. I've still got a lot ahead of me. I know I do. And I hope that I can make my future way better than what it was back then. But this will be the end. Just want to say thank you. And I'm posting this up on YouTube. And yeah, y'all have a good day. Bye.